Hey, my name is Melissa Lane, and I'm obsessed with all things self-empowerment, self-development, spirituality, and holistic healing to help you navigate this thing called life in a more fulfilled way. Ever felt like you missed the class on how life works? So did I. I'm just a regular girl who grew up not understanding how to create success, where to find fulfillment, or how to live a life that I actually enjoyed. So I went on a journey of self-discovery, and it led me to the realization that everything about living a fulfilling life can be learned. And so the LifeKraft podcast was born. Here, you'll learn how to stop letting life just happen to you and how to begin crafting a life you can actually get excited about. No topic is off limits here, from the scientific to the mystical and everything in between. Difficulties, failures, growth, victories, and more are all real life happenings that myself and our guests will discuss. Think of this as your library to life, where you can tune in whenever you feel like you have no idea what you're doing. Get ready to be challenged and encouraged to craft a life you're actually excited to wake up to. This is the LifeKraft podcast. In this episode of 7 Minutes to Success, we feature American actor, comedian, motivational speaker, and the author of the book, The Illusion of Money, Kyle Cease. He shares how we can more consciously create an abundance of money in our lives, how we might be blocking it energetically, and so much more. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and share this episode with someone who is looking for a more conscious way to create money. Enjoy.
Do you understand how much more valuable you are than money? And how much more, remember, Buddhist monks, there's millionaire achievers that go to Buddhist monks all the time. The reverse never happens. There's no Buddhist monks going, how do I get the Lamborghini?
I need to make millions.
Yeah. Why is that? Because the highest thing we have, the number one asset we have, is our connection to ourself. And then most of us think it's money. So we make that the highest vibration, but it's not. It's
inner peace.
It's inner peace. It's this moment, and you have that available. And the best things in life are free is a very cliche sentence, but it's true. And that's true, but also we only pay attention to what we invest in financially. So we overlook meditating here, but if we could pay to meditate, we'd all of a sudden do it. So we have to understand that what is free for real will bring in everything else that you want.
Yeah.
I have a rule too with money that you might think is cool. This is a thing that I want to offer people. If you're trying to figure out how to create a space for money, I offer people to think about how they think about money. Like, think about how unconsciously you think about it. Like, you're never enough, you're the root of all evil, whatever. Now picture that you're money on a date with you. And if you're on a date with a person who says you're never enough, you're the root of all evil, you'd never want to be there. Right? Well, money doesn't want to be in the vibration of someone that's judging it.
Yeah. You reject that person, so you're rejecting money.
Right.
When you think that,
how else do we say? I'm going to use you to get someone to like me. This is how money is seen. So how could money show up if that's how you see it? Because you wouldn't stay with someone on a date that said you're never enough. You're the root of all evil.
Right.
It's like, okay. So how would you like to be seen on a date? You'd like to be seen as, I love you no matter what. No matter if you're small or big, if you're off or on, if you're feeling like shit, I love you all the way. And if you can look at your debt or have $1 in the bank and go, I love you, now you're creating a vibrational space for it to show up, because you're safe, because your focus isn't on money and how it needs to change. You're much better off because you're on how you're going to change.
Wow.
And when you start changing like we just did and looking at these things and not needing to overcome as much as loving it, now you're focused on the thing that actually creates the money. Remember, every dollar you've ever made came from you. So don't get excited about money, get excited about you. Right?
Zing.
Like, if I went on a hike with you, we get lost in the woods, I round a corner, I'm not with you, and we find a waterfall. I find it, you don't see it. I fill a cup up with water. And I come back and I say to you, dude, a cup of water. What am I not showing you?
Yeah.
I'm showing you the small thing.
Yeah, not the waterfall.
Not where it came from.
The source.
The source of the water is the much more important thing. So none of us look at the source of where our money came from. We look at the money. So you're sitting here dwelling, not you, but the people that we're dwelling on the cup of water.
Yeah. Not us being the source of creating more.
Every dollar you've ever made came from you. Get excited about you. Start the focus on what you are, not what money will give you.
And your energy is going to attract or repel more wealth. A lot of, a mentor of mine said, I was at a salsa club learning how to salsa dance, terrified out of my mind, and I saw a guy who was amazing, who was a public speaker. He actually got me into public speaking. And he said, the world makes room for passionate people. I think money is attracted to passionate people as well, because people are passionate about life. They bring an energy, they bring a richness, a fullness, a richness, and they attract riches.
Yeah.
Whether it be through the community or the art they're creating or the business they're creating.
Yes.
And you're going to start to attract.
Especially in this time, because I know there's people watching this go, well, what do you say about all the greedy billionaires and blah, blah, blah? And what I say is that's the old consciousness.
Yeah.
That there, in fact, we see through it and it's starting to crumble. So the old way of doing things selfish was a conscious shift, because I believe in like the 50s, everyone was just like a factory worker working for, and then it was like this breakaway where an entrepreneurial boom happened. So taking your focus off of the old story and moving into what you are and learning how your thinking changes things was the highest consciousness we understood at the time. So at that time, that created this old consciousness of your focus, changes it. So you think positive, whatever. And that created it. And then we keep going and take a good thing too far. And then all of a sudden it's this billionaire thing. You can feel the most controlling mindsets crumbling. You can feel the suicides from the people that have made lots of money but see that it's not the answer. You can feel the people that are controlling other people. All the control, as the control fell in you during this interview, as you said goodbye to the old story and kind of loved it, all control in the world is starting to fall. And the old structures aren't working. And what will work in the new century and the new future is the birth of this consciousness. This consciousness, following your heart. You will not be able to make money just from massive achievement. It won't work. I'm telling you, it's going to be we see through it. The consciousness sees through it. It's too small. When there's going to be a major influx of Martin Luther King's, Mr. Rogers, Oprah's, Wayne Dyer's, it's coming. Yeah. Because we're so repressed that our hearts are going to springboard like the Renaissance, and there's going to be, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Thank you for tuning into this episode. Remember, this is only a segment of the whole presentation. Please follow the link in the description below to listen to it in full. If you loved this episode, please leave a positive review for us and let us know on social media at the LifeKraft what inspired you. We will connect again in the next episode, and until then, keep creating a life you are excited to wake up to.